If you look at the 20th century and you see what artists have really had a large impact, I really believe that Magritte had one of the largest impacts on us. If we look at Photoshop and the different tools that we have with working with computers and having gradations and transparency of images, and this type of play of imagery really comes from Magritte. So his impact is, he's a giant. I have 3 paintings. I mean, I have The End of Time, which is a beautiful piece from 27. And it was in his first kind of major exhibition that he had of his work in Belgium, and it was above the fireplace mantel. And it's it's a wooden kind of clock structure sitting on kind of a mantel, and it has some wood in the background. I also have a BAT print, which is of a wave crashing and a clock and a cloud floating, and then I have a pipe drawing. I've always been attracted to works that come from a different time, and it helps communicate what it was like to be a human being at that time, to be, a working artist at the beginning of the 20th century. It's also when you see something that moves you, I have this desire to protect it, and I want to be sure that it can be around in the future. And it's almost like a perennial thing to be able to take care of something so that other people can enjoy it. When I think about the impact of Magritte in the 20th century, I think one of the important things, what Surrealism gave to the 20th century, what Magritte gave to the 20th century, was it created a vehicle that we could learn about ourselves. And if you think about Magritte's work, it's this self-discovery that's about inner thoughts, thoughts that we have that are maybe covered and underneath other surfaces of consciousness, but they're inner thoughts. But there's also this social quality. And what's really important, and the contribution that Surrealism gives us, we learn how to go inward, but then at a certain point, that gives us the confidence to face the world and to go outside ourselves. So when you look at Magritte's work, there's this external element also that's always presenting itself. It's not about being contained and confined within ourselves. It's about going out and having a greater kind of social experience. There are these connection points that take us outward. That's what I really find in the long run the most significant in his work. I think he also symbolizes that art is a way of life. It's, through this activity you can, build your own experiences, your own meanings that you find in life. Magritte's work is also, it's kind of contained within a plane. When we think of kind of, the man with the bowler hat or some of these more kind of classic kind of 30 type images and 40s, where they're in this plane and there's an opaqueness. They're not being defined by this edge border. But when Magritte gets involved with this period, as kind of what they refer to as the Renoir Period, and there is this celebration where he kind of breaks free of being trapped within this plane, and he frees himself of that. And so there's this liberation and light being light, instead of defining form, but just the power and the joy of light. If I reflect right now on, some of my works, how there could have been some influence. I mean, the idea of kind of dislocated imagery, all of a sudden you come across something. Look at my equilibrium tanks, where I have just a basketball hovering in an aquarium. And I think of the one Magritte painting that I have, Ideas Claire, where there's a rock just hovering above the ocean on a cloud, This sense of equilibrium, of juxtaposition, of dislocated imagery. If I think of my puppy, and I think of this late Renoir work, and I created a piece out of 60,000 live growing flowers, the type of chaos but control, it's in this late work. This kind of, this joy, this celebration, a sense of spiritual quality, but at the same time there's kind of just trust in nature. I'm always aware of kind of the shoulder of these giants that I'm kind of standing on, and the impact. I love the connection and the reference to other artists' work. So I'm always celebrating Magritte, the ideas. For individual experience, for a viewer coming to this exhibition and feeling the intimacy that Magritte had within himself to make these paintings, the desire to make something that he could find a way to move forward with his own life, to have the desire to get out of bed in the morning and face the world, and yet continue to become a vaster human being, to have greater ideas for himself, and then to be able to share that with others, that we could find a way forward. I think everybody's going to feel that intimacy. They're going to feel his suffering, him pulling himself out of it, and at the same time his commitment to pull us to pull us along with him, that we could find a future. I think this whole exhibition is going to help us find a future together, to get out of the times that we've just gone through. It's kind of a perfect idea of an exhibition.